Hello, everybody, welcome back to Gyanan. This is the series of 100 Things Every Designer Needs to Know About People audiobook. How People Think. Chapter 36. Time is Relative. Has this ever happened to you? You're traveling to visit friends. It's 2 hours to get there and 2 hours to get back. But the trip there feels much longer. In the interesting book, The Time Paradox, 2009, Philip Zimbardo and John Boyd discuss how our experience of time is relative and not absolute. There are time illusions, just like there are visual illusions. Zimbardo reports on each research that shows that the more mental processing you do, the more time you think has elapsed. Related to the progressive disclosure discussed earlier in this chapter, if people have to stop and think at each step of a task, they will feel that the task is taking too long. The mental processing makes the amount of time seem longer. The perception of time and your reaction to it are also greatly influenced by predictability and expectations. Let's say you're editing video on your computer. You have just clicked the button to produce the video file from your edits. Will you be frustrated by how long it takes to produce the video? If you do this task often and it normally takes 3 minutes, then 3 minutes will not seem like a long time. If there is a progress indicator, then you know what to expect. You will go pour yourself a cup of coffee and come back. But if it sometimes takes 30 seconds and sometimes takes 5 minutes, and you don't know which one is going to be this time, then you will be very frustrated if it takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes will seem much longer than it usually does. If people feel pressed for time, they won't stop to help someone. In the Good Samaritan research by John Darley and C. Batson, 1973, Princeton seminary students were asked to prepare a speech on either jobs for seminary graduates or the parable of the Good Samaritan. The parable is about several holy men who pass someone in need but don't stop to help. The Samaritan comes upon the person in need and does stop and help him. In the research study, the seminary students were asked to prepare their talks, and then they were told to go to a building across campus and give the talk. The experimenter gave participants different instructions depending on whether they were in the low, intermediate, or high hurry category. Low hurry. It will be a few minutes before they are ready for you, but you might as well head on over. If you have to wait over there, it shouldn't be long. Intermediate hurry. The assistant is ready for you, so please go right over. High hurry. Oh, you're late. They were expecting you a few minutes ago. You'd better get moving. The assistant should be waiting for you, so you'd better hurry. It should only take a minute. Each student was then given a 3x5 card with instructions about where to go. The instructions took them past someone who was part of the experiment, and this person was huddled and coughing and groaning in an alley on campus. The question was, how many people would stop and offer help? Would it matter what talk they had been preparing to give? Would it matter what instructions they were given or whether to hurry or not? What percentage of people stopped to help? Low hurry. 63% people stopped. Intermediate hurry. 45%. High hurry. Only 10%. The type of talk the participants had prepared for, jobs versus the Good Samaritan parable, didn't make a significant difference in whether they stopped to help, but how much of a hurry they were in did. Expectations change over time. 10 years ago, if it took 20 seconds for a website to load, we didn't think much of it. But these days, if it takes more than 3 seconds, you get impatient. There's one website I go to regularly that takes 12 seconds to load. It seems like an eternity. Time mechanisms in your body. Rao 2001 used fMRI images of the brain to show that there are two areas that process information about time: the basal ganglia deep inside the brain where dopamine is stored, and the parietal lobe on the surface of the right side of the brain. There are also some time functions built into each cell of the body. Key takeaways: always provide progress indicators so people know how much time something is going to take. If possible, make the amount of time it takes to do a task or bring up information consistent so people can adjust their expectations accordingly. To make a process seem shorter, break it up into steps and have people think less. It's mental processing that makes something seem to take a long time. To be continued. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe.